and welcome to the Scratticus Academy. We are back with some Dunera today, and the whole cast is back. After 2 weeks, we have the whole cast together. So I'm super hyped for that. Otherwise, please check out all the links that are coming up in chat now. A huge thank you to our wonderful sponsors in the form of Bird in the Storm, who I have realized I am like fully like merch out in today, as is Tool School. And also Maychan Press. You can see their links down below. Other than that, let's hop around and say hello to everyone. So let's start with the lovely Jagon's Gold. Oh, hi.
Oh, hi, everyone. I'm Jay, or Jagon's Gold. I play Paula Packer, who had an emotional episode last week, learning a lot about her family. Today, wait, where's my stream of thought going? Yeah, no, I'm good. All right. I'm really excited for today.
There we go. Okay. And then let's hop over to the lovely Tool School.
Hey, how are you guys doing? I am super excited to be here today. So we will see what all Tolan. Tolan actually had like a really nostalgic chill stream last time. However, I did not. But also, gosh, 16 months, Scrat? I don't know how that happened either.
Thank you.
I know, right? That's like day one.
Yeah.
But anyway, I am super hype and excited to be here. And yeah, I get to be totally clueless as Tolan while poor Squall's brain just goes, what, who, what, huh, the whole time.
All the connections. Perfect, thank you. And let's over to the lovely V, the crafting muse.
Hi everyone. I'm actually feeling energetic enough to do this tonight because originally I wasn't thinking about doing it, but after last week I had to. You can find me on YouTube, where I have my YouTube channel showing you how to paint miniatures and make miniature terrain and all that loveliness. You can also find me here playing lots of games, which is fun. I cannot wait. I cannot wait for tonight, between the Rage Nope and the Revelations and all this stuff and the like just emotions that were coming out. Well, you can ask Grant House. I'm sitting there like screeching. I was doing my squeak.
Genuinely.
Yeah, genuinely like making my squeaky screeches. So I cannot wait to see what happens tonight with this progression, because it was so cool to see. So yeah, that's me.
Awesome, thank you. And last but certainly not least, Julie.
Hello, I'm Julie. I go by J Graveart, just about everywhere online. I mostly do art. I play Charlie here, and Charlie is sad. With reason. But we'll see where this twisty trail goes. I really have no idea what to expect, so I'm just looking forward to sit back and let it happen.
Yay! Perfect, thank you. So, as I think has already been said, a lot of stuff happened last week. Paula came face to face with the Seers, so we got to have a glimpse into the world that is that. We also had poor Charlie trying to deal with the state that Miles was in, and ended up getting forced to take Miles back to her father's place, basically just to escape whatever was going on. And Tolan had a flashback to meet his hero, Edric Amal, and had coffee with him. And I think it's one of the most adorable scenes I've ever seen. And then later we found out that Paula's father is in fact Edric Amal. And other than that, we're going to hop straight in.
Hey,
but where we hop in, we are not in Carnan. We are actually across the other side, to close to where there is a lake that has no name, close to the Old Shore Pass on the other side of this, we'll say island, to where Nadine is with Prim at Prim's lake house. And it's early morning. In fact, it's about 4-5 a.m. and it's a little bit cooler, but everything has a sort of bluish tint for it. And it's raining very, very gently as this house sits by the lake. And Nadie, we find you at this time in the morning. It's not quite fully light yet, but what are you doing?
I would be getting up very early because I love Prim's Lake House. And it's right near the lake. There is a little bridge that goes out into the water a little bit. So you have the water that laps up against where the shore is, and you can dip your toes in and wiggle them in. But then if you go a little bit further out, there's actually places where you can have your canoe set up and you can quickly get in the water and go paddle away. But Prim always goes very relaxed mode and wants to sleep in, usually when sun comes up more. But I like how quiet the lake is. It looks like glass, except today it's like little pinpricks are dancing on top of it. So I like to go out when it's like this too, because it reminds me of when I'm inside my greenhouse. So I put on my swimsuit. It's just very basic swimsuits. It's a very pretty seafoam green, and it has a little shimmer to it. And I grab my robe for after I'm done swimming. And then I go out to where she actually has a little greenhouse for me set up. It's smaller than my greenhouse at home, not as big. But they go inside, and there are plants that are native to the lake area, and I have them in their little pots. So I've had one that I've been working on the past couple of days that I want to get planted. So I make sure to grab that one. It's very pretty. It almost looks like a fern, except right now it's kind of droopy because I had to take it out of the water, but I wanted to make sure it was settled in its new pot first. So it's in a bucket, which is kind of not the best thing, but hey, it works for now. So I take my pretty little plant out of the water in the bucket, and it droops down automatically. And I take my robe off and kind of drape it over my one arm, and I go out into the pier just to the very end, and I'll set my robe to my one side, and I'll dip my feet in, and I just sort of take a deep breath while I'm holding this plant and hold my eyes closed, and I can hear everything happening around me. I hear the raindrops on the water, and I hear the calls of the crickets that they're staying up a little bit longer than maybe they should. And I hear the morning birds starting to call, and the crane that likes to sit off out towards the back part of the shore also making its noises as it's doing its morning fishing. And then I'll take one big deep breath, and without even looking, I just jump right into the water, and I just let it envelop me. And the first thing I do is let myself sink back a little bit, and I'll roll over while holding this plant to my chest. And I look up as the water dances on top of me with the raindrops hitting it. And then I let myself sink down further into the water while holding this plant, but I'll roll over. And again, I'll close my eyes, and when they open back up, my eyes will have this light glow to them that matches the stone that I always wear on my forehead. And I'll start swimming, but I swim down deeper. And as I'm swimming, my body becomes more fluid and graceful, as if being in this water is perfectly natural for me. And I don't even have to kick that hard. I'm not even really worrying too much about getting back up in time for breathing, because I've been practicing for a long time to hold my breath underwater. It's something that I've been doing since I was little. But what I won't notice is the fact that these scars that sit behind my ears from something that happened to me a while ago, they actually opened up, and they look like these little slits. And they almost look gill-like. And because of them, I'm not having to take deep breaths at all. The water is my air. And I swim deeper and deeper down as this happens.
As you swim deeper and deeper into this lake that you have swum in so many times before, every year of your life, where it feels so calming to be here, you almost forget about going back up to the surface. You feel a sense of belonging down here as the cool water sort of rushes over you as you jump into this water. And to some people, this lake is still quite dark this morning, but to you it's bright. You know the path. It's almost like you've marked it out for yourself as you dive down and follow the waterbed through these huge towering reeds, seaweed, all these different underwater plants. And you can weave through it, move through it to sort of all these different rocks, it seems just so bright to you down here and far more colorful, something that probably Prim has never seen. or really anyone has seen down here. You can see the small little crabs, like these little mud crabs, sort of scurrying over the rocks as you go. You sort of have to move your hair out of your face every now and then as it whips past. There's the odd fish here and there that comes up to you out of interest and disappears again. And you can feel the water temperature drop as you get deeper and deeper. And those gills behind your ears kick in very, very quickly. And the morning sun starts to dapple on this water. So you have all this sort of dotted light at the bottom of what is effectively your sea garden, a different kind of greenhouse, which is where you go every single time. What does it look like?
It's very different than my greenhouse at home. At home, the greenhouse is very organized. This is more built on things I found that speak to me, because for some reason the plants are different from the water. It's not so much, oh, this is pretty cool. It's more, please take me home with you and care for me. So it's sort of built up on itself, but it does have nice little centerpiece to it. There's this little box in the center, and from that box, there are different pots of these different water plants. There's actually these really pretty water lilies that have been there forever, and their stems go all the way up to the very top of the water, and the lily pads just kind of sit on top, and you can see them swaying, and it creates this beautiful pattern of shadow and light right in the center of the garden. And then there's various bits of sea moss that grow around, because I've been using that to kind of help cushion and cover, because some of the pots, they're not as pretty, so if I put the moss on them, it makes them look a little bit more natural from the ones I found and have been using. And it's a mix of seaweeds and almost these coral-like looking plants, and it's different colors. But again, up on the land, they don't look so pretty as they do down here. Up on land, they're more like, dark greens and dark blues and purples. But here it's like beautiful pinks and ruby reds and the bright emerald greens and the sapphire silvers, and everything start coming together, and it looks like a rainbow of colors, for me at least. And it sways with the currents of the lake and with the times I'm moving around them. And some of them I made sure they glow, so they get this nice little light that helps fill up the area too, and just sort of make it this warm, cozy spot for me as I swim down there to put in my new plant, which I've decided needs to be a little bit towards the back because it looks like it'll be taller. It's already looking happier in the water too, so I know that this is good. So I swim over probably to the left-hand side in the back. It's looking a little sparse still, so I tuck it in between this stone sculpture, which looks kind of like a lady with a tail, which I found a little while ago. So she has some moss growing on her too. And I thought that would be a nice thing. So it kind of creates a little umbrella for her too. So it looks like she's underneath an umbrella, just relaxing. And then I'll just go around and make sure everything's looking okay. And, I might need to pinch off a couple buds because, there's underwater flowers that can be green for the plants when they're brand new. So I prune things. And then I'll finally go to my little box and just check and see how everything inside of it is doing, because it's sort of been my secret hiding place for me since I was a little girl, and no one else even knows this is down here.
And you can make your way effectively along the bottom of this lake, and you find it very easy to move down here with each rock. They don't feel slippery. They don't feel... you feel like you can grip them with just your fingertips. Like you don't have to hold it yourself. You literally almost walk along it with the grip. And what you don't see, but what other people don't see either, is that whilst you're down here, your eyes actually start to light up a little bit and swirl with that color, so you can see where you're going in this dark water as you make your way through this sort of bright, almost coral-like waterbed. There aren't really any colorful fish or anything around here. In fact, they're all very gray, and you can see them sort of dotting around within these plants, and almost like they're like deadheading some of the buds and things for you as it sort of starts to flourish in this environment. Some of these plants you've brought down here are now growing in a slightly different way that you've seen them grow on land. And tucked away amongst all of this is that box. The box that you hide from Prim, the box that you hide from your father as you keep it down here. And you can open it. And it is full of so many things, probably things that other people would see trivial. What is in here for you?
Well, first thing when I open it, there's definitely a couple different seashells, which I know might seem silly, but they look better underwater. These are the kind where they need the water to show their color. This one is like a snail shape, except when I bring it out of the water, it just turns like peaches and golds, and that's about it. But underwater, it's a rainbow, which is beautiful. So I keep it in that box because of that. And then there are other pieces of coral that, again, they're just better underwater. They have gorgeous colors to them. One's a very bright purple color, and the other one is blue, like almost the blue color of my eyes, which is why I like that one. And then there are other things that look a little more man-made. Some of it is jewelry. One thing's very special to me. It's a comb. And some of it, it was a silver hairbrush, but I didn't realize that the bristles of the boar hair would disintegrate. So it's more just like a paddle with holes on one side. But it used to be a brush. And it's very pretty. It has all this pretty scroll work, and there is a seashell scroll shape in the center. And that one I really like to hold in my hand and just look over for a little bit longer. And it's just other odds and ends of, some more childish things maybe, but then other more smaller treasured things for me.
And there's some things in here that you've seen around the house when you were much younger. In fact, the reason they're in this box is because you found your father throwing them out, but they were too pretty to. You associated them with home. And some of these, when you actually put...
Scrap, go to bed!
Yeah, stop yawning on the street. Okay. Oh!
We just heard a huge yawn from Scrat.
Yeah, I'm sorry. We didn't realize chat couldn't hear it either. But anyway, so we're down here, and you've noticed some of the things that you have taken, sort of prevented your father from throwing away, that were very grey and very sort of maybe gnarled and porous. When you put them back in the water, and now they're kept down here, they start to become more colourful. And it's almost like they're thriving again, coming back to a more sort of true form of what they once were. And one of the things in your box, which you have seen growing up, this is one of your trinkets, and it is a very, very simple, very, very thin, very, very delicate chain with a pearl on the end. It hasn't rusted. In fact, it looks intact. Like nothing could touch it. And it rests in this box. And the pearl just hovers a little bit in this box. But you don't know what it does. But you definitely feel some sort of magic on this necklace, even though you've never seen it do anything.
I'll look at the pearl again, like I always like to do. And I'll put it on for a little bit. And I just like to play with the pearl itself. And just sort of have some quiet time down there. But I know I've probably been down here a little longer than I should have been. So I'll be very careful with this pearl. I think this time it's going to come up with me, though. Something tells me I need it. And I don't feel so bad about it while I'm here at the lake because I come in every day. So, maybe I might put it back when I'm done. But I'll put it around my neck and I just feel more calm, more peaceful. Like, don't have to hurry so much like normally back at home. And I'll take one nice look at my garden, make sure the new fern is doing okay. It looks pretty happy, actually. Looks a lot better than before. Didn't like the bucket, seems to be liking these more. And I'll just start kicking myself with my back feet working together up back towards the surface. But again, no rush. I'm kind of just looking around and seeing if anything's changed in the past year. And when I break the surface of the water, I'll let the rain fall on my face at the same time and just let things look around. And Prema will probably be doing the same, knowing him. And I'm not going to go back to the pier. I mean, I'll get my roll, but I'm just going to go straight to the surface of the water and kind of get to where it's shallow and slowly just start walking in while I'm playing with the pearl at the end of the chain in the rain. But again, just sort of wander a little bit and I'll go back up the pier and carefully pick up my roll, which is, it's no point now, it's wet. It's silly to even put on, and I'll carefully walk back to the back porch and I'll just drape it over one of the wicker chairs and hope it dries out soon. And I'll head back into the back area and grab one of the towels off the hook and wrap myself up in it and start my day.
And whilst you're here, you do get the sense of calm. And this happens every time you're here. Prim says she always needs a sort of a holiday, and she's been taking you for as long as you can remember. Same 2 weeks. Every year, she takes you. Probably since you were 5, 6 years old. And it never changes the date. Every single time it goes there. And she always calls it her refresher. She mainly reads books and drinks tea and jumps in the lake every now and then herself, but she's more of a wader. She doesn't swim, but you spend this time going into the small sort of lakeside village that there is, those trinket shops where you found that little mermaid statue, all the sort of the seaside, almost esque like souvenirs. And this lake house is very isolated from that village, but the village has no name and the lake has no name. It's just there. And Prim always tells you how she built this lake house. She knew where she wanted it, so that's where she built it. And you can come back in the back door and you see Prim in her robe herself. She's boiled the kettle. There's the same toast and jam on the table. There's a teapot full of tea. And she gives you a smile, and she's walking around with a book in her hand, reading herself. She too seems pretty calm at the moment. And she smiles. And we're going to hop over to Tolan. Tolan, where are you right now? What sort of thing are you doing as it's now becoming morning?
I think Tolan sort of finishes up with his sort of nostalgia and reminiscence as he's reached the last page of his folio and he's had his second cup of tea. And the light is beginning to come up a little bit. It was just barely the first little bit of light when he got up and started flipping through. And he probably flipped through. It probably took him about an hour or so to sort of go through and kind of remember all the memories that he had of drawing these comic books and also just sort of being young and excited and doing reckless things. But he sort of finishes up and he carefully puts them all back in this folio, and carefully takes them and sort of puts them back to this sort of spot. It's at almost the bottom of the pile, so make sure that they stay flat. But they're not like, he doesn't put them away. I think being able to glance at them and know they're there gives him some comfort. The room that he's in, as he looks around this little sort of loft area, is a little grayer after having sort of relived those memories, those sort of golden halcyon days. But he sort of goes to this sort of old, it's almost like a brass bed frame. It's a little tarnished, but he does sort of pull up the covers and make his bed as he does in the mornings, and sort of pushes the chair back underneath of his little desk where these folios and some of his drawings are kept, his inventor's drawings, and heads back over sort of across the room to where the little kitchen and banquette is. He makes a little toast, and he starts to sort of think about his day and all the things that have been going on. He can't help but sort of get caught on what Charlie had said, that she might know who has the artifact, but he almost recoils away from it because it's not something he's ready to tackle. His quick way to dismiss it is he doesn't know how to get in touch with Charlie, but also it's almost like pulling on that thread might take him somewhere he's not quite ready to go. He certainly, anyone who could have broken into those vaults, it terrifies him, of Averick, Clyde, the girls even, sort of facing someone who was able to take that artifact and who might potentially have already modified that artifact to be something else, to put people's and Anakwe's at risk. He worries and wonders about Paula having gone and seen the seers, and what that means, and what might come of that. It's one thing to have the deacon give him a visit, but with strange things that have been happening around the city, the idea that the seers or the watchers coming to his shop, as they did many, many times over the first couple of years, just, if nothing else, to sort of toss the place and make his life unsettled. He kind of prepares himself for that, but there is an order of business that he can take care of, which is do something to possibly make the cellar of Bruin Bindings someplace safe, not necessarily just for the sphere, but also for Averick, for himself, for all of them if necessary. So as he finishes off his toast and washes out his teacup, he gets himself dressed for the day. Same old corduroy pants. He puts on these old sort of dark leather boots, laces them up and ties them up, puts on his sort of work shirt that he often wears, and he puts on an old kind of like rawhide, but softer leather apron that has a few tools on it. Puts on sort of his magnifying spectacles and heads into his workshop. to try to figure out what he can come up with to help. Even though he doesn't have magic anymore, he looks around at these piles of junk and sort of waits for inspiration to hit him.
As you are in your workshop and you're looking at all these gadgets, these bits and bobs that all either were attached to something once or something that is broken, your eyes sort of pass over a few that, Aggie's left you, in fact you don't recognize when she put that one there. But you cast your eyes over all of this and you hear a singing again. And you always have that at the back of your head in some ways. You always hear that Inakwe song. But this one you recognize straight away. This is the sphere. And it's that low drum on its own. And you can hear it very weakly, but you can hear it.
He takes a moment to orient himself to sort of see whether he's hearing it literally across town, which would throw him into a panic. I think there's that first initial thing of, oh God, I can hear it here. Getting already, even though it is completely against his nature to run out the door, but he takes a moment to try to figure out if it's coming from the direction, bird's eye from Bruin Bindings, or whether something in here. His mind goes to the compass, I think, first, but then also sort of looks around as it was in contact with multiple magical items in here, or broken items, and whether it's imprinted somehow on something. So he tries to investigate where he's hearing it from.
Yeah, could you roll me an intellect check,
Okay.
please?
He's worried. I'm going to use my success.
Yeah, go for it. You look around at these trinkets. You sort of almost reach out to them, feel through them, go through everything. It's not coming from the trinkets. It's coming from Bruin Bindings.
Oh, shit.
And you can hear it. It's very quiet. Now you can hear that steady drum, that steady beat. And with an auto success, you have a strange sense of it's not just playing a song, it's calling to you.
Tolan, with that realization, is like, oh, for God's sakes, and mentally is just almost yells out mentally, and his mind is like, Averick, shut it up, and begins to quickly grab his coat. I think he kind of, as he's running out, probably grabs 2 or 3 things that just catch his eye, junk, throws them into his pockets to try to come up with something if he needs to along the way, and grabs his hat, and I think runs out the front door, which he never does. He does probably get almost like half a block away before he realizes he hasn't even locked the door. So he runs back and locks it. And then I think there is, in that moment of starting to gather himself again, that recognition of just how big the sky feels, and how unprotected he feels, and how he doesn't have any safety nets anymore, even just for ordinary life. And his hands shake a little bit, but he also is, his fear for Averick and Clyde and perhaps others, the shadows, the church, the academy, somehow following this song, if it's this loud that he can hear it. And even it might be focused on him, but I mean, magic is, he begins to rush sort of in that sort of hunch-shouldered, hat down, very quick, short, quick steps walk down the streets, out of the scar, and towards Bruin Bindings.
And you can sprint down to Bruin Bindings, if anything, even if it's in a sort of half-panicked state. And you run past the season tree, you run past...
Yeah, I don't think he's running as much as that really quick walk.
Yeah, you sort of basically power walk past the season tree. Yeah. You can see everyone going about their day as normal. The one thing you do notice, as you're probably the most aware, there are more watchers out. More of these people in suits with the rising sun, just with their partners, patrolling the streets, not seemingly patrolling for a reason, but just keeping an eye out on everything, very much like they did when there was the first attack on the academy in the library. But there's more now, and some of them are doing simple things like stopping and getting coffee or conversing with people in the street. Some of them look at you briefly, don't tend to acknowledge or anything, and keep walking. And you can hurry towards Bruin Bindings, and you can stop outside. You see, it's quite early. It's not fully open yet, but you can see Averick inside. There doesn't seem to be anyone else in there.
Yeah, I think probably he tenses up after passing by each and every one of these, and as he approaches Bruin Bindings, he looks up and down the street, having gone over the canals. And he's counting of how many of these watcheries seen? 2, 4, 6. I assume they're all in their pairs like they normally are.
They're always in their pairs.
And he's just mentally keeping count of if he's ever seen this many out and around, seeing if they're paying attention to him. I mean, he's trying to be inconspicuous, even though he's probably the most conspicuous thing out because of his own nervousness, as he sort of tries to quickly make his way, but he sort of passes in zigzagged ways, trying to avoid any obstacles, staying close to the centers. It doesn't stay too close to the edges of things, but makes it there, and he gets to Bruin Bindings, and he wants to just pound on the door. But he just sort of knocks, raps very quickly. Averick!
You literally just see him turn around. He's got his own, like, coffee in his hand. He looks fairly bleary-eyed. He's like, and walks over to the door. You see him open it. He's like, I don't open yet. Is everything all right?
Shut it up. Why? Shut it up.
Well, get in then. And he sort of like ushers you in before closing it, flipping the door, and starts pulling all the locks down, and he pulls a blind down as well, and over the main big window. He's like, okay.
Can't you hear it? I could hear it all the way at my shop.
And he frowns. Okay, look, I'm really tired, but hear what?
The sphere.
What about it? I mean, it kept me up earlier, but I told it to be quiet, and now it's fine. If you just chuck a coat over it, it seems to quiet down.
I heard it all the way in my shop.
You sure? You,
He gives him the glare.
okay, fine. Right. Yeah, okay, of course. Right, do you want me to get it?
Yes.
And he literally just walks down behind the bar, looking, he puts his coffee down and pulls it up and takes his jacket off the top of it. There you go. There it is.
Is the song the same? Is it still doing the same thing? Is it?
It's still singing. What?
You don't hear it?
No. I hear everything else right now, though. Like, it sort of like rubs his temple as he drinks his coffee a bit more.
You were saying it sang through the night?
Well, it sang when I first went to bed. Kept me up for a little bit, but like I said, chuck something over it, done.
He looks at it, it's like, what do you want?
Well, I want a nice cup of coffee and
Yes, one for me too, please.
Yeah. And he sort of, again, sleepily walks over. You can see his hair is effectively standing on end. He doesn't look awake at all.
Tolan nervously looks around for Clyde.
Yeah, you see Clyde very sleepily. You can look over behind the bar and he is like on his back, leg twitching in the air, asleep, very much asleep.
He then starts to examine, I guess, the sphere in the terrarium. Maybe taps on the edge. What? Wait, you can't do this. You can't send a message across town. As though it would listen.
It sings. Its song changes the tiniest bit, but more tempo, not the actual. It's still like a drum beat almost. Almost like it responds as you tap it, as you talk to it. But nothing dramatic, if you see what I mean.
Is it still got the oily sheen with the glyphs and everything on it?
Yeah,
so
it's all still on there. Nadi's terrarium, all the bits and bobs in it are all still there perfectly how it was left. You can see why Averick was not panicking. Like nothing has changed on this rock.
Am I the only one who can hear you?
It responds again. The tempo changes. And could you roll an intellect for me, please?
Yes. And I'm going to spend a little because I assume I got a full night's sleep, yeah?
Oh, yeah, you got a full night's sleep.
Yeah. So I am going to spend for effort.
Mm-hmm.
Would my research or archaeology and history or anything like that work here, or is this just pure intellect?
No, I'd say research, actually. That could work.
Okay, I'll give myself an asset and give this a roll.
So,
8.
on that, you sort of stare at this rock in the background, almost as if it's secondary. You hear that coffee pot boiling. You hear Averick clanking, moving around. You hear him curse as he drops something, but it seems very distant. And you look at it, you listen to this song. And when you were back in your workshop, you were worried that it had imprinted on like a machine or a trinket or something like that. Now you're very concerned that it's imprinted on you.
Oh Lord. Oh no, 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 no.
And Averick walks over, puts some mug of coffee down. What are we knowing at?
Oh no, 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 no.
Colin, I am tired. What are we knowing at? What? And he sort of looks over at this rock. He's like, "What have you done?" Like as he looks down at this orb in the terrarium.
It came to me
Sorry, what?
Just,
What,
you
in a
know, how
dream?
when I'm usually, how I'll, you know how I am in my shop or back at the lab, way back when we were working, where I would stand around and sort of look and get the feel of things, and then things would come to me. It was part of
You.
my magic, part of, yes, being who I am.
Wait. So are you saying... No, wait, what are you saying?
What has come to me of why I can hear it and no one else, because the streets are full of watchers. Other people, if it was shouting like a siren or a horn or something, certainly people would have noticed. Someone would have heard. People with magic, other people's inakwe, like a dog whistle.
Wait, so...
What if this has somehow connected with me because I sang to it?
And Averick pauses and he pulls up one of the higher, sort of almost like a bar stool, but it's like a chair stool. It's like, right, hang on. So you think it's talking to you and you alone? It's got that level of magic, like it's got that. What if it's latched onto you because you used to have magic? I don't know how it works.
I don't either.
What kind of song? Like, is it saying anything in specifically? What?
Just a rhythm, a beat. Oh. Is it like a heartbeat, Alice? Is it more like a song beat, or is it like
It's more of a song beat.
Okay.
It's definitely more of a song beat.
It's like a song. It's not anything just flat and regular. It has
What, like
intonation to it.
Like the season tree or an arcway or...
Yes, but where those are usually notes, this is like, it's like percussion.
Well, we know it's old.
Well, and, I mean, just the earliest forms of music were drums and hitting things, hollow staffs, reeds, bamboo. The earliest instruments were skins across frames.
I don't understand. Why can't I hear it?
I don't know, because you could, but you're not hearing it.
It kept me up until like 3 a.m. I could hear it. And now...
Well,
wait. So, are you saying it's choosing who can hear it?
I can try to ask it.
And Average is like gesturing, like, yeah, sure, why not?
Well,
so I'm gonna go get some biscuits.
It's oh, think of the hierarchy of needs.
Hold on. It is 7 a.m. I cannot come up with the hierarchy of needs right now.
It was lost. We've given it shelter and a home. The next step is relationships and bonds. It's becoming.
Oh God.
Maybe. I don't know.
What do you? It wants a chat. What does it? What does it want? Like, does it? Well,
I can try. I don't have the magic to empower my songs anymore, but I can still sing as best I can. I can try.
Is this still singing now? And it is. You can hear that tune. And she's like, and Averick leans in, and he doesn't know what he's doing. He's sort of like, what do you want to this rock in this terrarium? And Tolan, you hear the tone change. And Averick's like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. Rude.
It reacted to your voice.
I couldn't hear it.
Basically, Tolan takes a slug of his coffee, clears his throat, and he'll try with like sort of a counter beat to this rhythm. And again, just in the very basic to most basic words he knows, asks what they're looking for. Almost like he asked the monkey what they were looking for, and just Shana Hare, Shana Hare, Hoekware ni Refatre nu.
Halfway through, it's almost like it mimics your voice and sings it back. In fact, it joins in almost like it was two of you singing.
He's going to because that was a question that it could be asking him. He's going to try to come up with another question as Squall tries to figure out what he's going to ask. I am going to go with this hierarchy of needs piece and ask if it is found home, safe. Lontifaka, Freza Lonti.
And as you do, you don't hear words, you don't hear anything really other than that beat of that song again.
Mm-hmm.
If instead you feel a sensation, like a warmth, and there is a sadness, there is a mixture of fear, but there's also a sense of belonging, like something has almost like you've walked back through your front door after a long trip into your home. And as much as there is almost like that sense of relief there, you feel an underlying worry as it drums back this song to you.
I think he's going to continue sort of singing, and just like with the monkey, ask if it needs to find its way somewhere back to the source, or he's trying to understand if it's really a rock, or if it's that there's a spirit inside the rock.
Can you roll me another intellect, please?
Yes, I'm going to do it with advantage because I've got some to spend. And gosh, I got to bring down my pool. I'm going to spend effort again. So I used 2, and I'm going to use 2 more. And I'm going to do an advantage. This is completely out of my wheelhouse, so I can't say that anything is an asset on this because
this is more me telling you how much you understand.
Okay, so I'm going to do it with advantage. Let's see what happens. 1, 2, 5, and a 10.
Okay. So you listen to this, and so what is the question exactly you are asking?
I'm trying. I think it's not a question as much as I think it'd be his sort of line of questioning. Where Toland's trying to get at has somehow a spirit, like the monkey Inakwe, found its way into this rock and is stuck in this rock, or is the rock itself something
Okay.
sentient and alive?
You feel just mainly magic radiating off of this.
Okay.
You do not sense in an arc way. There's not anything like that. However, as you are communicating with it, again, there is that sheen that just sort of wipes over this orb. And again, you see those patterns, almost those primitive patterns of animals running, people running. And hang on, what did you roll? Okay. And that's what you see.
Okay.
You sense
very sort of trying to be soothing with it. Where's Averick?
Averick is kind of stood off to the side. He's nowhere near as close as you are, but he is still there, like watching you.
Averick, do you still have your old notes upstairs in your room somewhere? Do you have any of your old books? There's something I want to look up. Would love to. I think it was a bit of research that we did probably about 2 years after we.
I mean, it's a mess, but yeah.
Could you go see if you could find it?
What, all the notes?
Not all of them, just that specific one, please.
Okay. And he sort of disappears upstairs, and you realize by this point he's actually still in his pajamas as he's walking up these stairs, and you hear that sort of clap of the slippers on the stairs. And whilst he's upstairs, again, there's that shimmer that crosses this rock again. And you...
So I wanted to get rid of Averick.
Mm-hmm.
When he's gone upstairs, I reach out to just the barest little tiny tether of magic that I have out in the world. A little last thread that I have. And I open the terrarium and I put my hand on the rock and sort of open my old sort of shaping abilities to just try to listen and try to learn.
Please roll me another intellect.
Okay, I'm going to burn it down their advantage. Thank you, chat, for all the donations. And I'm going to burn effort because, yeah, if we're doing this, let's do this. Oh, just an 11.
Oh my gosh. Okay.
It's just not time. It's
No.
just not time.
Yeah, you reach out, and again, you get a very similar thing, very similar to before. However, this time you hear something different. It's not a song. It's a clang. It's a clang of stone on stone, of something being carved. This is the sound of a memory. Don't know what it is. Don't know where it comes from. But there's still that underlying song, that drum beat, and then almost a rhythmic clang as if something is being carved into stone.
Tolan quickly closes the terrarium back and feels foolish, being reminded that he's not the man he once was. And then has a bit of a panic about what if he messed up whatever magic Nadi had created. And I think gets very flustered, and a lot of bad brain talk to himself of just reminding himself of who he is now. And so he just backs away and goes and takes his coffee and sits back down at his table. Remembers for a moment as he looks around and can still see some of the familiar marks of Castachinos before it became Bruno Bindings. And just sits down and finally calls up and remembering Averick, now feeling even worse that he got rid of Averick. Averick, never mind. I'm sorry. It was just folly on my part. I'm sorry. Don't worry about it. Just...
You see these foots emerge on the stairs. His arms absolutely laden with notes and books. He's like, I've brought them downstairs now. If you're carrying them back up, we're looking through them.
Well, I guess we might as well. If nothing else, Paula said she knew, or thought she might know, who has the artifact. Maybe we should just review what we know of it. Sorry. I'm so sorry, Averick. I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry? It's not that bad. I didn't have as many notes as I thought I had.
Yeah. I shouldn't have.
What?
I shouldn't have bothered.
What bothered what? I don't understand.
I shouldn't have bothered you with having to bring all this down. I could just as easily go through my notes back at my shop.
Well, they're here now. I carried them down the stairs.
Of course. Let's...
And he looks confused more than anything.
Tolan is acting very strange.
Yeah, he's looking at you like, look, I need to pop out and get some more bits and bobs. We can keep the coffee shop closed, but I'll be half an hour or so. Do you mind keeping an eye? I don't really want to take that to the shop.
Oh, no. Leave it here. I'll lock things up. He sort of empties out his pockets where he's got these literally like chunks of the insides of appliances that he sort of dumps out on the table and goes, yeah, I was going to try to see if I could come up with something to put together.
And he looks at you again. Of course you did.
Well, I was thinking since these shadows can go after magic, I figure if I could make something that will overload, it'll be like a flare that they could go for instead of going for us. A diversion, not quite as bright as others, but I do know how to make things break pretty well. Or I've seen most things break in the worst possible ways, mainly from Aggie. But
he looks at you, he notices you're rambling. He sees you almost like you're not making sense. And he's like, yeah. Just nods.
Yeah, Avric's probably seen him get in this space before where he just... Tolan basically has already gotten his nose in these things and started piecing them together and is mumbling. Now, if I could just get this piece over here from Blender to hook into this speaker, maybe that will be a sort of one of the... Oh no, that will never do. That won't do. But and
as you talk to yourself in the background,
he starts flipping through Avric's notes. That's not right.
You can hear the door latch open and close as Avric leaves, knowing you're in a focus. Effectively, he knows that within half an hour you won't have even noticed he's gone and he will be back.
Yep.
And we're gonna hop over to Paula. And Paula, you have been dancing all night. And you didn't realize how much light was coming in through the windows, and you didn't quite realize that it was morning. But the thing that sort of alerts you to it as you're still dancing is a rap on the window. And Matthias is there holding up 2 sort of takeaway cups of coffee and just looks at you and sort of gestures at the door like, okay. And you sort of see him shift over to the door. You see him struggle for a second, trying to work out how to balance a coffee cup before handing one to Sophia and then working the door open. And as he opens the door, he doesn't step in, he just sort of knocks on it again. He's like, nowhere said you would still be here.
I must have lost track of time. Wait, Nola said I'd still be here? Wait,
yeah,
where did you see no?
The weird kids, the one that always loses his stuff.
Yeah, Noah. He's not at school yet, is he?
Well, yes, it is. And he sort of like looks down at his like wrists, like it's 7 a.m.
Oh no. Look, thank you so much for coming to get me. I've got to go to work.
Okay. Well,
I noticed you have 2 coffees.
Do you like coffee? I don't know. Doesn't everybody like coffee?
I really like coffee.
Okay, well then here you can have coffee. And
Thank
then he sort
you
of
so much, Matthias.
I didn't know if you like sugar or cream, and he starts reaching into his pockets and pulling out like these sachets of things like, so take a pick if you want it.
Oh, I actually just take it black with a little bit of sugar, actually, and I'll take some.
And he sort of starts looking at his pockets again and shoving all of this back in his pockets. Did you want to be walked there? I actually haven't been home yet either, so I was going to go home.
Well, I wouldn't mind being run there.
I mean, I can run. I don't know how much coffee I'm going to spill, but I can.
All right,
run.
try to keep up the pace, and then I just like
what?
dash past it.
Yeah, you can sprint, and you see him just like, like try and fix the lid back on his coffee as he's been stirring into it, and he sort of catches up with you with like a light jog. And
as I'm running, like I'm like, I grabbed my bags by the door, like, and I still haven't changed. I'm still in my dancing clothes, and I'm like trying to like get them down my arms as I'm running with my coffee spilling and slashing everywhere, and like I just look like a mad woman.
As you're doing that, he's trying to either take your coffee off you and sort of hold the bag up for you to pull item of clothing. It's sort of like this weird run alongside, trying to. He's like, if you stop, you could get changed far easier.
There's no time. I have to get there on time. I can't be late.
And he's looking at his watch. He's like, okay. And you see a passerby. And he literally takes the coffee off you, and he passes the coffee and his to the passerby. And as he does this, he sort of grabs your arm, sort of like your bag as well. And he's like, okay, don't freak out. And you feel a warmth in his hands, and there's that blue sort of energy starts to radiate off it, and you suddenly feel that you're going a lot quicker. You just it's almost like it's more than a run, but you also realize that your feet barely touch the floor as you start racing down the street with you've got like jumper half flying, half attached, half bags everywhere, sort of everything. In fact, you see one of your books sort of fly out of the statue, and he catches it very quickly, actually, almost inhumanly quickly, and puts it straight back in the bag and locks your bag shut. As you come to a halt, you see more colors sort of whizzing past you than anything else. You don't actually see people as much as colors. As you look down at your watch as you come to a halt just outside the bridge in front of the academy at 5 minutes past 7. There, okay? I'm sorry about the coffee, but I can't do coffee.
Matthias, thank you so much.
I may have dropped some stuff. I can go back and look.
Oh, that would actually be really helpful. But did you spike the coffee?
Oh no, I haven't had any coffee yet. That was it.
That was really cool.
You think so?
I think that was really cool.
I used to get told off a lot on like sports days and things like that.
Oh, were you a cheater?
Yeah. And he just like blatantly nods. Yes, I was.
Tisk, Matthias. Well, I really should be heading in now. But thank you again for the coffee and for getting me to work on time. That's really awesome. I hate being late.
It's okay. I don't mind. I would, like I said, I was on my way home. I haven't slept yet. I really should do that. So I'm gonna go now.
Definitely. I'll be around. I think I saw you last night, and
I didn't see you. Sorry.
Yeah, I was in a bad mood, but for a moment, maybe I thought about going and saying hello. So maybe we should just find a time to catch up soon.
You can say hello whenever you want.
Yeah, I know. I just, maybe we should just like find a time to get together, maybe like go to Bruin Bindings or something, and just
chat.
Just chat, yeah.
Yeah, I can chat. I mean, I know some good places. We go to Bruin Bindings. There's a great noodle bar down in that. You sort of like things. I think it's that way. But there's lots of places if you want to chat. I mean, why not?
Yeah, I'm always down to try new places too. So that, yeah, whatever you want. You have my number, right? You can just let me know.
You see him quickly feel round for his phone. Yes, no, I do have a number, I think. Yes, no, I do.
Yeah, so shoot me a message, or I can shoot you a message, and we'll can arrange something. I'm gonna be late. I really have to go in.
Okay, no, it's okay. I'm so tired. I really need to go home. In fact, that took it out of me a little. As you see him sort of like not sway on the spot, but he does like, wait. I'm going to go home now.
I kind of stabilize him.
Thank you.
No problem.
And you see Sophia has actually sort of flopped down and sort of like hanging over his shoulder almost, sort of snoozing. He's like, I'm going to go home, but tell you what, you let me know when you want to have a chat and get something to eat, a drink or eat or whatever it is people do when they chat. I have a feeling my job is more flexible than yours, as he sort of looks up at the academy.
Do you think you'll make it home safe? I mean, if not, we have a really comfy chair in the library. You can just take a snooze on.
I don't think they're gonna want me snoozing in the library.
Well, I won't tell anyone, and I'm in charge of the library, so.
And you sort of see him pause for a moment, like, okay, if I do, but if I get kicked out, I am fully blaming you.
Okay, that's fair.
Okay.
And come on.
He starts following you into this library through these big doors. And there are less watchers in here today. There are a lot less, like, members of the church. You feel like they've worked actually their way out into the city rather than focused on the academy. And Matthias sort of looks around briefly. He's like, I've not been in the library since, well, the awkward point, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean, awkward. One word to describe it.
I'll go with awkward. As he sort of starts walking up the stairs, and you can go into the library, and you see students in there already. Some, not many, because it's early morning, starting to file in. You can see some of the books reshelving themselves, moving in between the sort of little bookcases. And Matthias looks up and is like, is it that one up there? And points up to the balcony. You can't quite see the chair, you can see the top of it. And he's like, that one?
Yeah, I forgot to mention, you know, the journey to the chair is something of note. But once you're there, I promise you it'll be worth it.
And he looks up, he's like, it's okay, I'm not scared of falling or heights. If I roll down the stairs, I roll down the stairs. I'll just get back up and we'll keep going.
Okay, if you need a spot, actually, you know what? I have to work, but if you... I'm sorry.
I'm going to go to this chair now, okay?
Mm-hmm.
If I snore, tell me. And he starts walking his way, and you can hear that clang as he starts climbing up the stairs. This small blue ferret, almost translucent, as it lolls around his shoulders before sort of drifting through the air, following him up. And he makes his way up to the top, and all you can see is the sun coming in through this stained glass window, and the very top of this comfy chair, a small tuft of blue hair at the top, and a ferret that seems to settle on top of it. You don't hear snoring, but you don't hear sound either. You get the sense he's probably passed right out.
Seeing that Matthias made it safely to the comfy chair, Paula will retreat to her office with her bags and slide them all off her arms, and as quick as she possibly can, start changing, flip her hair up into her top knot. She'll probably even leave on her leotard and just slip her dress and not her dress, her skirt and blouse over it, just to save time. And she looks like a hot mess, but you know, this is not the first time that something like this has happened where she's had to come to work very disheveled, especially this week. Just like this week has not been good for her and getting getting rest. So yeah, no, she steps out after getting changed and finds a cart of unplaced books and starts placing them like she does.
You can move around and slowly you see more and more students start to filter in, and you do see a watcher come in, but there's no deacon, there's no anything. This watcher just seems to walk around, look in, look out, and disappear again. And then after a few hours, probably almost coming up for lunchtime, another watcher comes in and just walks over to your desk, very straight up and down, hands behind his back. He's like, hello, Miss Packer, just coming in to check that everything is okay.
Everything seems safe and sound in the library. Would you happen to have any news if everything is okay outside of the library?
We have not seen anything, but we would like to check up on you and make you aware that there will be a regular patrol of watchers in the academy from now on until this is resolved.
Good. That's reassuring to hear. Nice to know that we always have a watchful eye, making sure that everything is in order. I was contemplating visiting the headmaster today. Now, you wouldn't happen to know if one of your colleagues, like the kid with the ginger hair,
yes,
is still
him. He is not on patrol today. However, I'm afraid the headmaster is in talks with the seers today, but will be resumed back in with the academy tomorrow.
Oh. Okay. Well, that makes sense, I guess. All right. Yeah, thanks for the update. You were very helpful. And tell your actually, you know what? Don't tell anything to that ginger guard, but if you want to shoot him a dirty look for me, then I won't hold
he
it
gets
against him.
enough dirty looks, I think. But thank you for the information. And he just sort of pauses. You can see him second guess what he's probably about to say. Thank you for the information. I will update you when I can, and I will be back in to check at the end of the day, just so you are aware.
Thank you. You were very helpful. Have a good day. And if you need anything, you let me know.
And he looks around. I will. And he sort of turns and starts to walk back out of the library. And on your phone, Hollow, you've got so many missed calls from your mum. There's no messages, there's no text messages or anything like that, just missed calls.
Are there any voicemail?
There's no voicemails, it's literally just calls.
Well, I will mark those missed calls as noticed or read or whatever, and not do anything about it. And I will put my phone, I'll actually slip my phone into a drawer of my desk, so I'm unplugged. I just need to unplug for a little bit and focus on my work.
And you can knuckle down on your work, and the day starts to go by actually fairly uneventful. You've got the odd person asking where a certain book is, but otherwise everything is fine.
Throughout the day, throughout the day, Paula does a pretty good job of not thinking about the things that are stressing her out, and she's very productive. And eventually she wakes up Matthias and kicks him out.
Yeah, you get like as he sort of gestures, he sort of rubs his eyes. He's like, "Am I being kicked out?"
Yeah, it's that time, Matthias. There's more students pouring in, and they're gonna want their comfy chair.
Well, that's fair enough. It's a very good, comfy chair, and he sort of like pushes himself up. He's like, "Wow, I feel really good actually. I should probably go do my job now."
You know, Matthias, I'm not really clear on what your job is, if I'm being honest.
I tell stories.
But the night market's over.
Yes.
So where do you tell stories now?
Under the season 3, or and he looks a bit awkward for a moment. He's like, I also I am a waiter.
Oh, no way. Where do you wait?
Well, it's not really a waiter as much as I help the person who owns it. And I do the bit of the waiting as well. I kind of do a bit of everything. I kind of do some of the cooking, some of the cleaning, some of the waiting. It's a bit of a mixture of things. And then when I'm not doing that, then I do the stories.
Well, it sounds like you're a man of many talents.
I tell you what, if you ever meet my mother, please tell her that.
Yeah, no, I will if I ever meet your mother.
Yeah. Telling stories is not seen as the best job, nor is a combination of cleaner, cook, and waiter of someone else's business.
Well, I think those are two honorable professions, and you know, one demonstrates your creativity and the other demonstrates your they both demonstrate your people skills, because your people really seem to like you. You're very charismatic, and I'm sure you get great tips.
And he sort of raises an eyebrow at that. He's like, I mean, okay. You realize he's probably never actually thought about that. It's like, I just turn up and I get paid and fed, which is always a bonus.
Yeah, that must be nice. You know, I was thinking about squeezing in another job.
Don't you
between
already
the
have
hours.
2, 3? You have 3 jobs, don't you?
Yeah, I mean 4 if you count that side gig that comes around every couple of years. But you know, it's
Maybe
I'm
do
like
something more relaxing every now and then.
yeah, no, I'm that's definitely on the radar. You know, that's in like that's part of the plan, is to have time for social. I'm calling it in my, you know, and I'll pull up my pad that has my timetable, and like there's an hour blocked out each day for social.
And he's looking at it and looking back at you. Like, do you actually do anything in that time?
Well, sometimes I hang out with Felonious. Other times I have lunch with Noah.
So you've got a pretty tight schedule, right?
Yeah.
So do I have to book you?
That would be preferable. If you could let me know your availability on Thursdays and Saturdays. Those are my most free days.
What time are you free today? Where is your social block?
Well, I was gonna have lunch with Noah, but you know, I could always ask Noah.
I don't want to interfere in your social hour that you've already got.
Well, we have lunch together like 5 days a week, so I think if I missed one day, he wouldn't be too offended.
So, you want lunch today? Can I book you now? Do I need to pencil it in?
I'll pencil it in. It's my schedule, so.
Okay, you pencil it in.
And
when is this?
We'll take the pencil from behind her ear, and she's like erasing and making notes.
Like he's watching you do it. So what time is this?
It's in an hour.
Okay. Then I will be back here in an hour.
Yeah, be back here. And actually, you know what? Why don't we go out for lunch? I'll meet you by the doors in an hour.
Okay, I can do that. I will be back in an hour.
Okay.
I will see you then.
All right, see you then, Matthias. It was nice having you around. Your presence in the library. Oh, my ring went flying. Your presence in the library was present. It was a present.
It was very present.
The present, the past is it?
I'm going to go now because
the
I've only got
future
an
is a
hour.
gift. Wait, no. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go now. And I'll see you in an hour for your social gap.
See ya in an hour.
And he sort of looks at you confused, turns and starts to walk away. However, you see Sophia sort of rear up on her back legs on his shoulder and just give you the same, almost in a mimicking way, almost salute as he starts to walk out of this library. And we're gonna hop over to Charlie. And Charlie, where are you this morning? Did you stay at Faust's?
I think she stayed there for at least a few hours. And during that time, she actually called a few people just to check in. One of them being Shayna, and one being, I don't know, I assume Aggie has a phone. But
Aggie does have a phone.
Okay. At very least one in her home. And she's going to see, or she's going back to the shop anyway, so at least that's the intention. So she didn't call Armand, but to Shayna specifically, she called and I think left a message. She was probably already either on her way to work or already running deliveries. She's got a busy, she kind of cycles between different shops. There's the breakfast run and then there's the lunch run. So she left a message essentially saying keep an eye out. And not getting super specific, but using a bit of I don't know, a code, I guess, that they had developed, at least a way to talk around Tyron without directly mentioning him. But also trying not to worry her too much. But probably around later morning, 9 or 10, she makes her way very carefully and as unobtrusively as possible to flower shop, and locks up behind her and just takes it really slow. Is just looking everywhere and just not trusting a single shadow, honestly.
Well, you two notice more watchers out, just walking up and down the street, not doing anything, literally just patrolling. You get a response from Shayna that's very simple, just says understood, let's talk soon. But there's seems to be a calm undertone to it, more of a worry for you than the actual situation. And you can walk back towards the flower shop, and you see Armand outside, sort of setting bits and bobs up. And he's like, "Ah, there you are. You didn't come back fully last night. I wonder where you were."
I'm staying with a friend.
Oh, okay. No, that's fine. Just, paranoid, like I am. There's a parcel for you upstairs. I put it in your flat for you.
Okay, thanks. I'll be down in a few.
Yeah, no worries. It's pretty slow this morning. I don't know what's going on, but take your time.
I say hi to Sam as I walk by.
Yeah, you can just see this snake like just sort of weaving behind the counter. But it seems pretty calm this morning. You can see all the flowers have already started being watered from the ceiling. You can see Armand walking around, literally feeding the ones that are reaching down for food and popping up to take food. And you feel as if everything is normal, effectively. There's like a sense of calm. But you can walk your way up the stairs and open your door, and there is this package on the table. Not even really a package, like a bag, almost like the one you saw Tuva carrying on the way. And it rests on your table.
I just kind of look around because, of course, Tuva was not impressed with my locks again. So, any evidence of anyone else in here?
It looks like no one has broken in, and
Excellent.
there is no one else in here.
Great start. Oh, and I'll check out this this bag.
This is a big square bag. It looks like a heater bag. It looks like one of the ones that restaurants transport like takeaway food in. And you can unzip it and open it, and there is now a very cold bowl of ramen. Another bowl on top that has been stuck together. There is a small box of very cold dumplings and a message in definitely child's handwriting saying, "I'm sorry." And then underneath it says, "Don't tell Nadie." And you can see in the corner there are 2 locks. These are your other trinkets, as you see these 2 fingerprint quality locks.
Love this kid.
And you see what definitely looks like a little paw print on the side where maybe some soup has spilled out, and there's like a red panda handprint on the side. But this is a very cold ramen now, and very cold dumplings. But that's it. That's all there. There doesn't seem to be any ulterior motive. But your mind does drift back to Tuva walking through the rain with this red panda rolling through the puddles, and now you realize where she was going.
Yeah. She feels rather guilty of that, but at least now, just gonna take this ramen and just put it in a like pot that I could actually heat up and start doing that on like a kitchenette, whether that's like a shared part of this apartment or I don't know, she may have a little bit.
I see a very tiny square kitchen.
Yeah, like dorm style. So yeah, she'll keep that up and yeah, just kind of turns this little note around in my hands a few times and are these locks something that I could install?
It's very simple. They're very standard ones where you record your fingerprint, and then as soon as you lock it, the only thing that can unlock it is your fingerprint. They're very expensive.
I ain't gonna look gift horse in the mouth. I'm gonna use these.
Yeah. You can easily fix them to wherever you want, whether it's a window and a door or something else you would use them for.
Yeah, I think there's really only one window that opens in this room, and the main door. And I wonder if there's I set it to multiple people, like if Armand needed to get in, or is it just one?
No, you can set it. It's kind of like, on a phone, you can set it to 3 people.
Yeah. Okay.
It's that sort of thing.
I'm definitely doing that. And yeah, I just kind of peek downstairs. It's still real quiet, so I'm gonna stay up here and just wait till our food is warm. I'm just gonna sit there and enjoy it because I sure haven't eaten anything since last night. I'm just kind of stare around and take out this little terrarium that he gave me and just put it back on my little side table as I literally just sit on my bed eating this ramen. And take a minute to just sort of chill in my nice locked room.
You feel safe in here now. Like, literally no one can get in. No.
Unless they break the window.
Unless they physically break the window.
Which happened, but
the soup is warm. The vegetables are warm. The noodles are very comforting in general. And you can heat up like the gyoza, these dumplings. And it's delicious. And you sit there and you just take your time to enjoy all of that. And outside, you can hear Armand talking to someone. Just like, no, I'm not just gonna let you up there. No, like it's sort of like having this argument. And you do hear why not? Like it's sort of like you hear Armand argue with this 9-year-old child downstairs outside the shop.
I'm gonna shuffle. I'm just gonna slowly get up. I still have my noodles. I kind of shuffle over to the landing, unlock my door, open it, and just kind of peer down and just call down to Armand. It's okay.
And you can't see Armand. You hear just sort of a mumble, but you hear too the like, ha! Like, and sort of run, and you see her running up these stairs with this big red panda sort of thundering behind her. And she stands upright as soon as she gets in front of you. It's like, you got them then?
Awesome. Thank you.
Are they nice?
They're really nice. It's a reheat, but I only just got back.
Did you work out how to install the locks? Do you need me to show you how to install the locks?
No, I think they're good, but if you would inspect them for me, that would be fantastic.
Okay. And she literally just pushes past you and goes in. She's like, it's okay, I know where they are. And starts going over to the window and checking them and moving things around. And she actually doesn't touch any of your stuff other than this lock. And she then stands in the middle of the room, hands behind her back, almost expectantly. It's just, yeah, no, they're all good. And just smiles awkwardly at you in silence.
Honestly, we'll sit back down very heavily on the edge of her bed and just look as tired as she is for once. And look up at this kid. It's not that far to look up, but she does. And I really do appreciate it.
It's okay. And again, just smiles, beams watching you eat the noodles, looks over at the window at the new locks every now and then, and shuffles sort of on her feet awkwardly.
Did you want to sit down, or do you like the closet better?
And she frowns, but like she sort of narrows her eyes at you, like, no, I don't prefer the closet better.
Okay.
She just sort of drops on the floor in front of you, legs crossed. I came to tell you I quit.
Oh.
I mean, that's a good thing, right?
Sure, yeah. Does that mean you're gonna... Well, I don't know.
Oh, I'll go to school. Try.
Okay.
I'm not promising anything though, because if they just... if they try to tell me what to do one more time, I'm out.
That's fair. I didn't have a great time in school.
Did you drop out? Are you allowed to drop out? And she sort of like leans, like shuffles
Yeah,
towards
actually. I guess if you want to go the official route, you might need a guardian permission, but I know plenty of people who don't go.
So you don't have to go. Maybe I'll do something else then. What do you do?
Well, school wasn't really right for me, so I found a different teacher, and I mean, I still needed help. I didn't really get what I was doing with my magic. It's simple for most people, but
It's not simple for me.
how's that?
And she sort of looks away briefly. So what do you do now?
I make flowers grow.
Can I do that?
I don't see why not.
She nods. Your boyfriend downstairs is real grumpy, by the way. What? He is. And rude.
He's like 10 years older than me.
Yeah. But she genuinely doesn't understand why you're not laughing. She's like,
I just rent this room.
oh,
He's a good friend.
can I
But he's
rent
more
a
like
room?
family. Ah!
Can I rent a room?
I'm trying to think if there's any other... I mean, you have a room, don't you?
Yeah, but I like this one. Well, you get to put all your own stuff in it, don't you? You don't have to sneak out.
No.
You sort of suddenly realize how old this child is acting in some ways. The expectations of her, but she's definitely a child, but you can see the way she is thinking is the next step.
What's wrong with home?
Oh, nothing. But like, you follow a process, don't you? You get a job, you get a place, and then you go.
Yeah, for a while.
Like, you leave school and you do all that sort of stuff.
Doesn't have to be all at once.
No, but I like to get on with things. Don't you?
Sure. Yeah. Guess I'm not sure where I want to be going just yet.
Do you have to know?
I'd like to.
I will bear that in mind. And she stands up and straightens herself out and sort of looks at you as it goes to walk out of the apartment and stops. I really did quit. I know you and Nadine didn't sound too fond of it, and you both seem to do well.
I'm glad you think so.
Well, look, you've got your own place. Like she's actually looking at this attic apartment.
Living it up right here.
Exactly. But I quit and I'll get a real job, and I promise I will factor in the less stealing thing.
Okay. That's the most I could ask for. Not that I should have any control of your life.
And she smiles and shrugs. Okay, I'm gonna see you later. Starts just like gives you a wave.
Alright. Let me know if you need anything, alright?
I will. If your friend lets me up the stairs, like she sort of like shouts down at this, down the stairs towards Armin, who doesn't seem to say, like, you can't hear any response. But she sort of, you hear her chuckle a little bit. And she actually picks up Brenna, this big rib panda, and sort of holds her on the side. Is like, I'm gonna go and go to school. And she starts walking down the stairs, out of sight.
Just finishing off this food because there's no point in wasting delicious food. Sit that down and just put on kind of more work like clothes, and it's like track pants and this big shirt, and ties an apron on and heads downstairs. And I'll stop by Armand and just be like, she's alright.
Armand is looking at you like that kid has an attitude problem.
Yeah. But it's kind of fun.
Oh yeah, well you're not on the receiving end of it, as he sort of like looks over. And he can't help but smile himself. He's like, I will remember it for next time.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get on with this then. I need you to help me make labels, categorize, and repot all of these Villadris plants.
Alright.
Come on. And you see Sam sort of at his heels start moving into one of the back rooms where all the potting shedding is. And we're going to hop back over to the D. And the D, the day goes by, and then it comes to evening. And what do you do in the evening?
We have a nice little dinner together. Sometimes we cook together, sometimes I cook, sometimes Prim cooks. Tonight I decided to cook for Prim because I kind of had a feeling she's not going to be too thrilled about what I want to show her at dinner. So I make her favorite meal, and it's some nice fresh vegetables that we got from the market earlier, just sort of chopped up in a nice pasta to go under it with just a little bit of olive oil and maybe some balsamic vinegar and some shredded Parmesan cheese on top of it. It's very light, very easy on the stomach. Doesn't sit too long in the tummy, so you can go back out swimming or just enjoy your walks.
And you can lay this on the table. You cook it up. And she watches you, your every move. And as you set it on the table in front of her, she looks at it. What have you done?
It's not so much what I did, but what he did.
Who?
It came back again. And she'll pull out the box with the very tacky gold diamond ring in it, and she'll place it in front of Prim.
And she looks at it and sort of rubs her temple with it. Where does he keep getting these?
I don't know. It's the same ring each time. The question is how he keeps getting it back to and into the house.
I don't think he keeps getting it back. I think someone has found a supply.
You think
But
it's
sort of looks at them of cheap rings and sort of she places it back down. So how are you going to get rid of it this time?
throwing it in the lake?
Well, there you go.
You really think he keeps buying new ones?
Yes.
He's that dumb.
What, you think he's going to go and collect them each time? You think he's that clever?
He's that dumb.
Yes, thank you. And she
Okay.
sort of sits back and starts digging into her dinner. And
He came to the night market.
you see her close her eyes briefly and let out a long breath. You think he would learn?
No, clearly not, because for some reason no, he didn't even get the fact that I was telling him, no, I don't want him to buy me dinner, no, I don't want him to come and sit with me and my new friend, but I had fun with that, though. That was fun to do to him. I may have passed out the thought that the little 9-year-old girl was my new companion.
And Prim is looking at you. She doesn't look like she's smiling. She just looks like more annoyed that Hamish is obviously still coming back. I will talk with him when I return.
He's definitely scared of you. The first thing he asks is, Prim here.
Good. He
I
should
did-
be.
I didn't answer him right away. I want him to squirm. And he did.
And Prim actually looks more serious than normal. Just not the bit she's eating her dinner, and briefly her eyes glance up to your necklace. Where did you get that?
Found it in the lake while I was swimming this morning.
You found it in the lake.
Yeah, at the bottom.
The whole necklace, or
Yeah, the whole thing together. Maybe it popped off someone's neck or something. I figured if I wear it out and about, maybe someone says it. Hey, that's that looks familiar, and then I can be like, hey, you don't know where you lose it, or where you think you lost it, like a walking advertisement.
how do you feel when you swim in the lake, Nadine?
He's calming. It's home. He's always home here.
You feel a bit better now.
Always, every time, yes. Like within hours of going swimming.
Okay. And she smiles. That makes me happy.
Okay. Well, this place makes me happy. It's my favorite place to come.
And mine. And she pauses again and takes another mouthful of food. Obviously, you can say no. How do you feel about a trip to the ocean one day? You don't
No.
have to go in the ocean.
I wasn't yet. I don't know. I don't.
You don't even have to go near the water.
I didn't think I was near it last time. It still got me.
Okay. And she just sort of dismisses it and starts to eat her dinner again.
You think I
And-
should, though?
I think it would help in some respects. However, I do not think you should do it if you don't want to. And you don't tell your father. Okay?
Yeah. I like
And she-
it better here. Here the water is calm and quiet and easy.
And she gives you a weak smile. Okay, that's fine.
Okay.
Don't have to.
Okay.
I also received a letter from your father
When did it get here?
this morning, but you looked so relaxed. I didn't think, we can discuss things over dinner like we normally do.
Okay. Is he doing all right?
He's doing absolutely fine. In fact, he arrives home tomorrow. And I was going to ask you, would you like to go home and see him? Or would you like to stay here?
Oh. I mean, we just only got here recently. I don't want to cut it too short because I like our time here together, but did he say if he has to go out on another journey right away, or is he going to be home for a while?
I do not believe it is a long stay, but I also do not believe it is a short one.
Well. Could we maybe,
Another few days?
yeah, maybe a couple more days here and then we go back to see Papa?
I will give him a call later. I believe this letter was sent a few weeks ago anyway.
Oh, okay.
So
That works. I mean, as long as you don't mind either, because, this is our time together. I don't want to cut short.
you know this is my favorite place, and this is my favorite time with you. It's good for you as it is good for me. You enjoy swimming in the lake.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah,
seen you take plants there.
Well, I find them and I kind of relocate them, kind of like my greenhouse at home, but, they're water plants.
And she smiles again. A few more days here. Okay?
Yeah, yes, please, I'd appreciate it.
We will not go to the ocean if you don't want to go to the ocean. I know your father wants you nowhere near there.
No.
And if you don't want to go there, then we won't. This is me offering you an opportunity.
I know, and I appreciate it, I do. I know you want to make sure I'm not being held back by, Papa's preconceptions, but I don't think it's the right place for me. It doesn't feel like it wants me so much as it wants to take me.
And she reaches over and holds your hand. It's not taking you anywhere.
Okay.
Okay?
Oh, yeah. This is home for me.
Exactly. Go and spend some time with him soon. Or before he goes gallivanting off again.
Wonder where he went last time.
Who knows? And she sort of rolls her eyes and starts taking another bite out of dinner.
Should we tell him about Hamish, or?
I think it's best to let me handle Hamish and you enjoy the few hours, days, whatever time he has, with you in a calm environment. Do you remember what happened last time he found out about Hamish?
Oh boy.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay, thank you, Prim.
I think it would be best.
Definitely. And honestly, Hamish is getting the short end of the stick anyways, so...
As she sort of smiles and does a half bow almost. That necklace really does look pretty on you.
Thank you. I like it. It's like a little reminder of the lake.
And there's a weird smile on Prim's face. It is very nice. Right, that was delicious. I don't know why you were so worried, but thank you for making my favorite meal anyway.
Well, I figured I'd make it better because, just in case hearing his name sort of soured your palate, at least a good dinner kind of would counteract and balance it out.
Well, and she holds out her hand for you to take it. It's shall we go and launch it?
Oh yeah, definitely.
Come on then. And she sort of lifts you up out of the chair. And you feel actually how both frail and strong her grip is. Like you can feel how small she is, but tall. And she leads you out onto the pontoon. It stopped raining. And you can see in this lake, this is a huge lake. You can just about see the other side. You see lots of reeds, lots of rocks and things like that. And she points over there. You get it past that rock, and I'll buy you dessert.
And if I don't, I buy you dessert.
Yes. There's
Well,
a
I
great
mean-
ice cream parlor down the way.
I mean, okay, it's not exactly like bad deal either way, but I won't say no to that.
And can you roll me a might, please?
Sure. We shall see. Not my strongest.
You throw this, and you watch it sail through the air. And there's just that plop as it hits the water's surface. You owe me dessert.
Yeah, I guess I do.
Come on. And she starts walking back down the pontoon.
Well, I mean, at least I have the money now from working at the cabaret.
Exactly. And she, again, another thing we can't tell your father. Fantastic.
Right, no, you won't say that. Oh, but I might have promise of working with a woman who has her own like plant business.
You just don't stop, do you?
Well, I mean, you know, it's plants, and she's just going to get started, so she's probably gonna need some help. And plus, she was getting some plants from villagers, and I thought that we need to kind of be able to work with plants from all over the place.
And she smiles. Come on. You can tell me about it over ice cream.
Okay.
And we'll hop back over to, let's go with Paula. What are you doing, Paula, at this point?
Knowing that her date is fast approaching. Her chit chat. Let's be clear. With Matthias is fast approaching. In between putting books on shelves, she's like ducking under her desk and like flipping over her pocket mirror and like just like slicking back like some of like the stray hairs. And you know, like straightening up her shirt and whatnot. She's all of a sudden distracted and she's not nearly as productive as she was moments ago. But she's excited to see Matthias, which, you know, she never, I feel like in the past, she's been happy to see him, but this is the first time she's really felt like looking forward to seeing him specifically. You know, I mean, in a way where they're gonna get to spend quality time together one-on-one. So yeah, and she does her work distractedly for the next hour until it's time for lunch.
And as that time for lunch comes round, you can make your way out of the library, down the stairs to the main doors. And he doesn't see you straight away because he's looking in what looks like a window, trying to push his hair over to one side, and then thinking it doesn't look right, you can see him ruffle it a bit more, and then he starts to try and smooth it over again as he sort of panics a little bit. But he does turn, and when he sees you, he's like, "Oh, okay, is that time already? Okay, that's lunch. We go for lunch for that chat."
Yeah, we should get going. I mean, I've only got an hour, so
what do you want? What would you like to eat or drink or whatever it is?
Oh no, that's like the worst question. That's you know, that's the question that why don't we walk, and like if something catches our eye, we can like stop there.
Okay, no, we can do that. We can do that.
Okay. I mean, the worst case scenario, we can just like get some street food.
We can do that too.
All right.
After you.
After you.
Oh, this is going to be awkward. Let's just go at the same time.
Okay.
And you start to walk over the bridge through the cobbled streets near the season tree. And you can enter what looks to be lots of streets, but smaller streets, almost alleyways, but they are packed. And you even recognize the one that you went down with Aggie, this cafe. And you see lots and lots of cafes, restaurants, shops, all sorts of almost crammed together, squished together, almost all on top of each other, but the buzz is happy, and the food you can smell so good. At lunchtime you can see lots of people sitting outside and lots of people sitting inside as you walk through these streets, and all these flowers, all these creeping vines sort of, again, some of them creep into the shop, but through the shop windows, up onto the awning and round and across the signs. And Matthias has his hands behind his back, sort of awkwardly walking, very upright. Anywhere take your fancy?
Why don't we go to the place that let's make this into a little game. Let's go to the first place we see that has a red awning.
Oh god. And he sort of looks around and he's like, well, that one's kind of red, isn't it?
I mean, I'd say it's a little bit more of a burgundy, but you know, that'll do.
Well, we don't have to go in.
No, I think we should. You know, I mean, or we can do this for another 5 minutes and then we'll only have like 50 minutes.
Okay, then we'll go in here. And he sort of picks up pace and walks forward. Realizing he's walking too fast, slows down again. And I'm going to ask you, Jay, what type of shop is this? What food shop is it?
So although they came out here looking for lunch, it's actually more of a bakery. And it's mostly desserts, but they do have some breads. And spreads as well, but mostly it's like pastries and cakes and cupcakes and that kind of thing, donuts.
And you can stroll in here, and this bakery is very, very small seating area. In fact, it's almost built like a corridor back, so you've got the bakery stuff all being shown off. You see lots of like artisan pastries and breads sort of all on the back wall as they're being. The smell from the wood-fired ovens is amazing, and you can see people taking orders and putting them into like these paper bags. But along this corridor you see very small, narrow tables with 2 chairs either side, and these sort of red and white little tablecloths that sort of drape over them. And Matthias walks over and pulls the chair and he's like, please sit down. I don't know, what do you want? Do we get a...
Yeah, why don't, before we sit, we should get some food first.
Like a sandwich? Or they've got some like quiches and flans and stuff as well. Do you want that? I can get it. It's like, what do you want?
I mean, I'm thinking... I mean, we are at a bakery and, you know, it's kind of early, but is it ever really too early for a cookie?
I mean, I can do that. Well, there's cake. I mean, look at, you
could do that. I mean, you could do something different. You know, we don't have to order the same thing.
Well, I'll get you a cookie. I'll do that. Yeah.
Okay, then what can I get you?
Oh no, this is okay.
No,
This
it's
is-
fine.
this
I
is,
can order you.
This is on me.
What do you want?
Technically, I'm the one who booked your social slot. I booked the social time. I'm paying. I tell you what, next time you book the social time,
I'll book the social slot next time. I'll book your social slot.
And he looks at you. He's like, I'm going to go and get the food. Why don't you find somewhere to sit?
And Paula, like, her face is it's not like a human skin tone right now. It's like
yeah,
it's like the color of a vegetable, like of the red variety.
You see his ears turn pink as he looks away, trying not to laugh, but walks over. And you can find a small seat in the corner, and you sit down, and all across the ceilings is these vines, these flowers that have sort of draped down as they've climbed in through the street into this, with small sort of cast iron lanterns holding from them. They're not lit yet as it's daylight, but very soon Matthias comes over with this, basically this giant cookie, and he sits down with what looks like just a ridiculous sized piece of cake with this tiny fork, and puts it down, and 2 coffees. I figured as you didn't get the one earlier, you might want one now.
That
was that presumptuous? Should
no, it's like you read my mind. You know, I was thinking the same thing. Paula's like picking at her cuticles. It's like a nervous like tick. And like her thumb actually starts to bleed a little bit because she's like picking too much at her cuticles. Which he doesn't take care of at all. But yeah, no, this all looks so delicious. We should
eat it.
We should eat it.
Yeah, we should. That's kind of what it's here for.
And Paula looks out the window as she's taking her first bite. So nice weather. And she just like stops herself.
And he just again looks at you and raises an eyebrow. He's like, I mean, you could say that. You're not very good at this conversation thing, are you?
I mean, I've been working on it real hard this past week.
A whole week. Oh.
Yeah. I've met a lot of new people, including you.
If it helps, I'm not very good at it either.
I don't know what you're talking about. You tell all the crazy stories and...
I tell the stories because I'm on stage. I'm confident. I know what I'm doing there. This is terrifying. Very enjoyable, but terrifying. No offense.
I mean, I'm
having
offended.
a good time. Like, and he starts like mildly panicking. He's like, no, I'm having a good time. I'm enjoying your company. I'm enjoying the cake. I'm enjoying the weather.
Good. I'm glad. So, why don't we talk more about I don't know. So you mentioned your mom earlier, and you mentioned that you live outside of Carnan.
On the outskirts, yes.
Is your mom still there?
Oh, she's there. Yeah, she's there. I really need to pop in more often. It's just, it's a bit of a trek to go there and back constantly, but I need to do it again soon. It's just, the timing and not being there when my brother's there and that sort of thing.
Gotcha. How did your mom feel about your brother's line of work?
Oh, she's proud. She says he's excelling in what he does.
Yeah, I mean, he really is. I was at the church the other day with him. I was going to see the Seers, and he seems very well respected there. And
He is. He has very strong opinions. I think that's what helped him rise quickly. You know, Noah mentioned about going to see the Seers too.
oh yeah, we both did. Just giving our testimonies on the recent events.
Understandable.
Yeah, I mean, it was weird.
Yeah.
For sure.
They're all weird in there.
Yeah. But I hope that they're trying to help. Although I'm having some doubts. After a weird conversation I had with my mom. You know, this is like, but that's,
What?
I feel like right now we should just like, this is supposed to be like fun thing. Let's just talk about fun things.
Well, it's also a chat. You said chat. If you want to chat, it doesn't matter what about. I'm still enjoying myself, and he sort of like takes a slice off of the cake.
Well, my mom she came to the church after my interview with the Seers, and she unloaded a lot of information on me, and it was very, I was taken aback because I thought we were always honest with each other, and I just found out that she was withholding a lot of secrets, and that was really hurtful.
I can see that it would be.
Yeah. I just thought of her as one of the few people in the world that like I could trust completely, and the fact that she had me questioning that now is kind of it's hard to wrap your head around.
And he pauses, looks down briefly at like this cake, and looks back and says, "You may still be able to trust her, but I wouldn't be too happy either."
I don't know. For someone so close to you to keep a secret like that. That's the one thing I can't deal with, you know, just like the lies and the secrets.
I don't really understand them half the time. I don't think I'm sharp enough to keep a lie going or something like that. It's just...
You're very sharp, Thais.
Not when it comes to lies. You can read it all over my face. He said, "No, really, it's really obvious."
Really? Try to tell me a lie right now.
Oh gosh. And he sort of starts to...
In fact, why don't you tell me 2 things that are true and 1 that's a lie, and I'll have to guess which one's a lie.
And he grins. "This cake is delightful. My brother is delightful."
And you have to say 1 more truth.
That cookie looks delightful.
Let me think about this. This is going to be a tough one.
It's a tricky one, I know.
I'm going to guess that the lie is the one about your brother.
Bingo. I told you I can't lie.
I can't say that I totally understand why you guys have so much animosity towards each other, because I found both of you to be really kind, at least to me. But I'm sorry that you have such an antagonistic relationship.
And he isn't lying when he says his face can't hide anything. He sort of looks down awkwardly, briefly. He's like, let's just put it down to sibling rivalry, shall we?
Can't relate to that either, but I'm sure that's really tough.
Well, I hear Felonius is pretty feisty, so it could be quite similar.
Yeah. Maybe. I just feel like, like at the end of the day, you're family, right?
He doesn't think so. But that's okay. We're two very different people.
Yeah. Yes, at the end of the day, family is just, we're all still just people, and we all have
issues. We all have issues.
We all have issues.
It's not a problem. Because at the moment, I am sat in a cafe and I am eating chocolate cake. And I'm having a very good pre-booked chat.
We are. Do you mind if I try a bite of your cake? I know some people don't like sharing food. Listen. And Paula will take a bite and then talk with her mouth full. Some people have real issues with sharing food, and I just can't even stand being around those people.
And he's just looking at you and he's smiling.
And she takes another bite of the cake.
And he looks down and says, I'm glad you like sharing. And he
Feel free to have as much as you want.
Yeah, he immediately comes over and takes a chunk out of the cookie.
So maybe we should sometime hang out with. You should hang out with me and all my other friends too.
Is that okay?
I think they all like you.
Okay.
But if you'd be okay with that.
No, that sounds really good, actually.
Do you have?
How do I book that?
It's actually been kind of weird. We don't really do the whole booking thing. It's more like in a moment of panic and danger, we all just kind of end up around each other.
Panic and danger? What kind of coffee meetups do you have?
I can't, it's really hard to explain, but
it sounds it.
I'm sure if you spend time around us, then you'll have some of those experiences yourself.
Okay, then I will very gratefully accept a booked social slot, which is both spontaneous and dangerous with your friends, and maybe I get to know them a bit better. Yes?
Yes.
Is that how it works?
That's how that works.
Do I just turn up and hope for the best? What do I do?
Yeah, I think you've really, it sounds like you have a really good understanding of how this works, actually.
Yes.
Do you have friends that you hang out with out?
I know people who work at markets. There's this kid I know where I work. She's funny. But that's about it. I know it's a bit lame.
No. I've been the same way until like a few days ago. So I had this one kid at the place that I work, actually, who's really funny. So we have that in common.
So I shared my cake. You share your friends. Is that a fair deal?
That sounds like a fair deal. And we could also share each other's company more often.
That sounds nice.
Next time, maybe we can like go for. Well, that's kind of lame.
What?
Well, sometimes I really like taking the gondola to work. Sometimes it's faster to take the tram, but the gondola rides are really pretty. And so maybe we can just like casually, of course, just go on a gondola ride.
And he smiles. But you've got to book me, remember?
Right. So if you have a moment of free time at some point on either a Thursday or a Saturday.
I'm free a lot. As I said, my job is pretty flexible, other than very late nights on Mondays and Tuesdays and Saturdays.
Okay, so if we could just do Wednesday at 5:30.
I tell you
it
what,
could be 5:45, depending on how long things go at work. If you would have the time.
I have a really crazy idea. Why don't you just drop me a message and maybe I turn up?
That sounds risky.
Does it? Well, then maybe take the risk. Yes? If you don't like the risk...
Yeah, no. I'm in. You got me. You sold me.
Okay. And we'll pan over to Charlie. Charlie, what are you doing as you finish these ramen noodles and Tuva has left, sort of marched her way down the stairs? You've sort of put on your apron and headed to the shops.
I think as we're going through all these plans, he's categorized a lot of them, being that he kind of just took Armand took the whole day yesterday while it was pouring rain to just sit there and be one with his plants. And so it's more finding a place to put them. So we've cleared out this back kind of space for them, and they're gonna have their own little display that will sort of draw the attention from the front of the store to really like pull people through and go over and see these beautiful exotic plants. And Charlie's just getting lost in the work, just very happy for the distraction and having this sense of purpose and good company. And there's a bit of like kind of shelf Tetris going on that she really likes, and kind of a color coordinating game that there's some discussion that breaks out every now and then where it's just like, no, the purple one should go over here with the red. No, they should go with the blue. And it's just very companionable time. And Al even looks a little brighter as he just kind of drifts around and even like hangs onto some of these little flowers and other ferns and branches and things. And here in this comfy space, and kind of the same, at least when she was alone in Medee's greenhouse, Al ventures a little further away. Most of the time he sticks like super close, but at least when she's most at peace, he kind of float around, and in a similar way that she lets her own kind of energy out into these plants, into just this general maintaining the state of life and good vibes, I suppose.
When you're with Armin, because you've worked together so much, you do seem to just flow between each other, knowing you make the odd comment now and then, probably someone does something slightly wrong and do it this way, don't do it, but it's all jokey. And as the evening wraps up and he starts closing down the shutters, moving all of the plants, he's sort of fixed these big shelves of them on wheels and pulls them back into the shop as they close down. And he looks at you, I know you gotta go water the D, is that her name? All that sort of, yeah.
Just check on her stuff.
Yeah. Do you want dinner though? Because I've got some in just the kitchen out back if you just want something to eat, you know, like we used to do. You just seem to be real busy lately.
Yeah, I've not been making time for food. I should do that.
Yeah, no, you should do that. I mean, it's just pasta with like some stuff on it, but it's good stuff, but not like, yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Okay. Okay, well, you go do that. I'm gonna keep packing up here. And we'll see you later.
All right.
See you in a bit. And he sort of shuffles back into this kitchen. You see him wait with the door open as this huge snake, Sam, starts working his way in before, come on, tuck your tail in, and just sort of closes the door. And you can make your way to Nadine's.
Yeah.
And you've got the key. And you can step straight into the kitchen. And what do you do? Do you go straight to the greenhouse, or?
Yeah, the plan is mostly to just kind of check mostly that the house's doors and everything are fine, and her priority is greenhouse.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if she would go through. Well, do you have to go through the house to go to the greenhouse?
No, I don't believe so.
Okay. I think she honestly just kind of like try the doors and then go to the greenhouse.
Yeah, you can go straight into the greenhouse and you leave the door open briefly just to sort of go in. Everything's fine. And well, what do you do?
Well, I'll check that everything is at a good kind of moisture level. I know there's succulents that don't need very much, and it's pretty humid here being closer to the water. But just kind of checking in, and even as usual, if there's any little ones that I don't think there's many that would need a little thirst here, being that it's nutty. But if there's any that are kind of like out of season or something that are just trailing along because it's the end of summer, I think she'll just kind of give them a little, just tiny little spurts of energy here and there, and she brushes her fingers along some of these leaves, little parts of them glow, like the naturally occurring kind of bioluminescent plants that are around town as well. They just kind of glow a little brighter. She passes by.
And you can linger in this greenhouse for quite a while. You can make sure everything's okay. You can look up. And you get a message from Armin that just says, dinner's ready when you are. And as you walk away, you see a man approach the house. A man that is almost identical to Nadine. except for the hair. It's not blonde. It's very dark hair, in fact. And he's got a huge pack over his shoulder. You see a big pair of waterproof boots, which you see as he's putting the key in, he's literally kicking off outside the house. As you see him open the door, he doesn't notice you at all and closes it shut. And we're going to hop over to Tolan. And Tolan, you have been engrossed in these notes. There's so many mistakes in them that, in fact, they just home in on you. They lock on, and you sit there pouring through these notes. Are you looking for anything specifically?
The notes was really a diversion for him to get Averick out of the room. Just in general, if anything catches his mind, in fact, even with the whole thing of him trying to build something that's going to overload. That's the idea here, is he's going to basically miswire a thing. So basically you turn it on and it becomes sort of like a magical short circuit or ground fault that kind of would flash to be a diversion, especially if something came after, Clyde and Averick, or Nadi and Prima, or Al and Charlie, that it would be something that would shine brighter. He knows he probably can't overpower the stone, but the stone at this point is just, he's got to put that in another part of his brain so that he can try to come up with something that he can use to affect their escape, or affect a way for them to get down into sort of, the safe room, into a place where the shadows couldn't get to them.
And you can sit there and tinker away and certainly make these little contraptions, bits and bobs, and in fact you feel almost like a little bit happier now that you're actually, it's like you're doing something again. No, he kind of got himself into a bad headspace with the stone, and just that he just beat him up himself from every direction of why that was such a bad idea, but that he did it because there was this weird little spark of hope in him, I think. And he does what he normally does, which is he throws himself into work. And since he has, fixing people's junk is not very satisfying, but this is, even it's very simple. It's inventing something, nothing near the things that he used to invent or create, but you can still hear that steady sort of almost drumbeat like song, just as if it's not doing anything in particular. It's just still there.
Mm-hmm.
As you sit in broom bindings, and hour after hour goes by, you realize Averick isn't back yet.
That's odd. He actually probably gets up and's like, Averick, thinking he came back in and that he just didn't notice, because then he starts to sort of search around the house, around broom bindings, and goes up the stairs. He feels a little awkward going up, knowing that's sort of Averick's private thing. But Averick,
you just see that apartment that you've been in many a time, normally with Averick, and you can just see what looks like a very well-loved sofa. You can see a room that goes off into the bedroom and a very small kitchen, but no Averick.
And he also then realizes that the day's gone by and that the shop hasn't opened, which is even odder. I assume Clyde went with Averick.
Yeah, Clyde went with him.
Yeah. He starts to get worried. And he starts patting down his pockets, trying to find his phone.
It's probably at the bottom of something somewhere underneath more of these contraptions.
He sort of flips it open, and
you have a missed call. And a message.
A text message, or is it a voicemail?
It is a voicemail.
He starts fiddling with the phone, getting more panicked, and can't figure out how to get the voicemail to come up. But then eventually, just tell me what it says. And finally, he finds the right combination of buttons and puts it up to his ear.
You say, hiya, you know that noise this thing makes? That means you need to pick it up. But just so you know, I've got the stuff. I'll be back late. The seers have requested to see me, and obviously, I don't want to get in, like, trouble or whatever. Because you know what they're like. But anyway, if you could just make sure the shop's locked up, I shouldn't be too long. I'll be back in maybe an hour. And I'll see you in a bit. Just don't leave you-know-what alone.
Tolan drops the phone and begins to shake. No. He starts to breathe heavily. No. It's okay, Tolan. Maverick has been in front of the seers before. This is no different than 8 years ago. He'll be fine. His head's just spinning. He grabs his hat. He looks around, knows where the keys are, and locks up ruined bindings. No. Then he goes back in. He looks at the stuff. I can't leave you, but I can't have him there. And he gets caught. He gets caught in his own mind, in his own fear. And can't get out the door. And can't stand that Averick could be with them right now. I'm going to roll an intellect.
Mm-hmm.
He's stuck. He can't put together what to do. On a 9. He looks to the stone. Please. Please. I don't know what you are. I don't know what you can do. I don't know what is possible and what is not. But don't let them get in his head. Please. And he basically just sits there over and over in his head. Please. It's too delicate. It's too delicate. Don't let them get in.
And
please protect him.
There's a slight hum that comes from this stone. And a shimmer again once more. that's where we'll leave Laws of Dunera tonight. So, that was great. Thank you. Other than that, please, we run a rerun every Friday where we come and sit and chat and we rewatch it because we're very obsessed with the world and these characters. Thank you, chat, for being here. We love this game so much. So thank you for being along on the ride with us. Please check out all the links that are coming up on chat now. And also, we'd love to hear what you think in the Discord. We tend to scream in there throughout the week, so it'd be great to see you in there too. Otherwise, join us again next week to see. We've only got, what, 3 episodes left now?
Yeah.
3 episodes.
Wait, no. 3, yes.
We've got
Or is it
3, 2, 3.
2? Y'all are off the 22nd.
Yeah.
Yeah, so 2 episodes before the big 3-week break.
There is 2 episodes left of this season. So, yeah, everyone keep evoking emotions, and we will see you then. Bye.